welcome back to my channel. I hope that you're doing well. Welcome to another video and welcome back to another TBR bingo video. If this is your first time seeing a TBR bingo, well, welcome. And if you are returning, welcome back. Basically what I do is I use a bingo cage with a whole bunch of balls that have a corresponding prompt to them, and I will spin the cage, pick a ball, and use that prompt to pick a book off of my TBR. I have some punishment prompts and some harder prompts mixed in there. I do have an extras pile as well for all the ones that aren't on the board. And as soon as we get a bingo, I either get a reward or you guys get a giveaway. That's usually how it works. If you are interested in going back and seeing more of the rules or watching the full playlist, I will leave it in the cards above and in the description box below if you want to go check it out. But without further ado, let's go ahead and talk over how I did in what month are we in? November, and then we'll go ahead and do the rolls for December. We will also be picking my Merry Bookmas TBR in this video, so stay tuned for that at the end of that, and we'll definitely talk it all over. So before we get into our actual November picks, I'm going to go way back to October and talk about the two rollover books that I had in October. The first one being The Song of Achilles. I just want to let you guys know that I did read this. I enjoyed it, didn't love it, but I did read it. And then my other rollover was The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, and I actually decided to DNF this one, so I no longer have to worry about either one of these. And then these were the other books that I was supposed to read for my book picks, and the first one here is C.C. Rios in the Desert of Souls. This was to read a readathon book, and I did read this. Up next, we had Fire in His Fingertips. This was to read a graphic novel or manga, and I did read this. Then I had an extra ball with a blindfold pick, and I picked Malibu Rising, and I did read this. Then for an extra ball to read a book in a day, I picked Ferris, and I did read this. Then we had a retelling with a polarizing opinion. For that, I picked Desperate Measures, and I did read this. For a new release, I had When Night Breaks, and I have not read this one yet, but I'm currently filming this on the 17th of the month, and I'm trying to get pre-filmed before Merry Bookmas rolls around. I'm sorry, 12 Days of Bookmas rolls around. So I have not read this yet, but I'm buddy reading this starting next week, so this will definitely get done. Then for a fun pick, Clint picked Raven Song by TJ Klune. I am currently halfway into this one. I am buddy reading this with a group of friends this week, so this again will also get done. Then for a punishment pick, I had a book over 600 pages, and I picked The Serpent's Curse, and I did read this. We had a book that was gifted to me, and that was Heartstopper, Volume 4, and I did read this. And finally, a book with magic in it, and that is The Midnight Library, and I did read this. So that means that I have 0 punishments this time around, so we're going in with a clean slate, no rollovers, which is very exciting. I will be filming this TBR a bit differently, so feel free to let me know how you think this went down in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. But since I am planning for Merry Bookmas at the end of this video, I'm going to film this a bit differently, so bear with me, let me know what you think. But without further ado, let's get into the very first roll. Somehow I forgot that we needed to roll the dice first, so let's roll the dice, and then we will get into our first roll. As you guys know, for the dice rolls, I have 2 chances to pick the number that I want. These dice equal up to 20. If I pick a number that I decide that I don't want and decide to re-roll, I can re-roll, but I have to stick with the number that is rolled. If I roll anything less than a 4, I have to re-roll automatically. So let's go ahead and do my first roll and see what happens. Whoa, okay. Holy crap. Is that a 9 or a 6? I never know. Is it a 9 or a 6? I think it's a 6. So that's 16. That is a lot of books. Do I want to try to re-roll? I re-rolled last time and it worked for me, but I'm really scared to do it again. Okay, I'm going to do it, and hopefully I don't regret this. Oh my god, I'm so scared. Okay. Okay, this is 12. Okay, I can do 12. 12 is not bad. I'll take it. I'm not sure if it was in the same angle, but we're going to roll with it. 12 was actually the number that I wanted, so I'm glad that I got that. There are 12 prompts for Merry Bookmas, so I'm hoping that I can fit all of the prompts in there. Cross our fingers, let's hope. But without further ado, let's get into our very first spin. Okay, spin number 1. Spin number 1 is N34. Okay, N34 is a contemporary book. I don't know if there's any books on my list that I want to read that are a contemporary, so let's cross our fingers and hope that I can find one that fits for the Merry Bookmas prompts. Okay, for our very first roll, we got N34, and that is a contemporary book. For that, I'm going to be reading The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. This is a contemporary adult romance, so I'm definitely going to count it. I am really excited to get around to this one, and hopefully I really enjoy it. Alrighty, spin number 2. Ooh. O63. Okay, O63 is Unhaul Project. Basically, when I was at my last house, I had a TBR cart. My last 2 shelves were filled with books that I was interested in reading, but probably wouldn't read right now and needed extra space on my shelf, so I took them off with the intention that if I read them, I would probably enjoy them, but possibly unhaul them. Does that make sense? So I'm going to pick a book that if I can remember what books were on that list. Now that I have more space, all of my books are reintegrated back onto the shelves, so we'll see if I can find one. Spin number 2 was 63, and that's Unhaul Project. I'm gonna be honest, this one was a bit hard for me to pick one that I wanted to read that was also gonna fit for the prompts, but I was able to find Chosen by PC Cast and Kristen Cast. This is one that I know that I'm not gonna keep. I have read the first 2 books in the series and then unhauled them, so I know this was on my Unhaul Project pile. And this is the 3rd book in the House of Night series. It's a vampire series that was written ages ago that I enjoyed as a kid, and I'm now going back to rereading. I honestly couldn't even really tell you the synopsis of this. I think it follows a girl named Zoe who gets marked on during a day at school, and basically when you're marked, you're destined to either turn into a vampire, or if you don't finish your changing process, then you die. And it's her experience going to this new school, becoming a vampire, all that fun stuff. So I'm excited to get back into this world. It's been a long time since I've picked up another book in the series, so we'll see if I enjoy it. Okay, spin at number 3. G48. Excitingly, 48 was on the board, and the prompt here is underrepresented book, and that was recommended by Gabriel and Clint, so thank you both for that recommendation for the prompt. Let me look around. I have a ton of books that have representation that isn't necessarily represented in books often, so I definitely have an option to choose that. I just don't know which one I'm going to pick that's going to also fit for my Bookmas. Okay, the next one that we had is 48, and that is underrepresented book, and this was recommended by Clint and Gabriel. For this one, I'm actually going to read Heart Song by TJ Klune. We are buddy reading this as a group. Clint and a couple friends and I are buddy reading this. You are more than welcome to join along if you are interested in reading the series. This is now going to be the 3rd book in the series, and this has representation for, well, the entire series does. Aromantic representation, which I don't read enough about at all, so excited to fit this one in, especially because I really did need to read it this month, so hopefully I enjoy this. The series follows gay werewolves, at least the first book does, and it's such a good series. I highly recommend that you read it. TJ Klune is amazing, and I definitely think that this is a series that you have to read. Okay, spin number 4. Whew. 074. All right, we love it when the choice gets taken right out of my hands. 074 is mom pick, so I will give her a call, see what she decides to pick for me. I'm sure she's awake at this point, so now is actually a perfect time to give her a call, so I will let you know as soon as I know what she chooses for me. Hopefully, she doesn't do me dirty. Roll number 4, we got mom pick. Things are going well. I am very excited about that. Hopefully it stays this good, but we got mom pick, and I gave her a few different options, and she was really bouncing between a few, but she finally ended up picking The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, which is so perfect because I do need to read this one this month, and I'm very excited to get around to this one. I've had this one on several readathon TBRs and actually never got around to reading it. You should know what this is about by now if you have been on my channel. I've literally explained it so many times, and it's going around on BookTube, so I'm going to save myself some time and not explain this one, but I am really excited to get around to it. Alrighty, spin at number 5. 072. Another prompt that is on the board, yay for us. Okay, so this one is an author that I've read from before. Honestly, that gives me a lot of options. I love to see it. Okay, hopefully I can find one that I'm excited to read. Okay, another one on the board, and that is 72, and that is author I've read from before. Now, this one could have been so many different options, but I needed this book to go on my Merry Bookmas TBR, and I'm hoping to finish out this series this month, so I'm really excited about that. And that is Winter by Marissa Meyer. This is the final book in the Lunar Chronicle series, if you're not including the smaller little graphic novels and short stories. So this is the final book, actual novel in the series. I'm really excited to finish it. It is a chunky book, but I have been able to fly through most of the books in the series rather quickly, so I don't think that I'm going to have any issues with this. This entire series is a sci-fi retelling of classic fairy tales. The first one was Cinderella, the second one was Little Red Riding Hood, the third one was Rapunzel, and then this one is Snow White. So I'm very excited to finally get around to finishing off this series. I have really enjoyed my experience, and hopefully this one is no exception. Spin number 6. This is not going too bad. Ooh, I got 2. I jinxed myself. Of course I did. B15, which is an extra ball, so we'll see what that has in store for us. And it wasn't even on the board. Okay, B15 is extra ball and a priority shelf book. So a book that is at the top of my priority, book that I really, really, really want to read that's maybe not on any other particular list. So let me have a look around, see what I decided that I want to read. I definitely know that I can fit something in here. I just don't know what it is I want to fit. Just when things were going so well, of course, I got an extra ball, and that is 15, and that is to read a book off of my priority shelf. This one was honestly kind of hard because I don't have a priority shelf in this house anymore. I used to have one at my old house, and so I was like, what was on that shelf? I couldn't remember, but I just went off a book that I'm really excited to get to, and that is Occulta by Maya Motain. This is the second book in the... I don't remember what the series is called, the Nocturna series. I really enjoyed book 1. I'm really excited to get around to book 2. I'm hoping that I'll really enjoy it. This one follows, I'm not going to remember their names, but this follows a boy who's coming into his position on the throne as the new king in waiting because his brother, who was supposed to take the throne, has mysteriously disappeared and is presumed dead, and he's really reeling and grieving from the loss of his brother, but he's convinced that his brother is still alive, and so he kind of goes on a journey to try to figure that out. But during that time, he runs into a very well-known thief that lives in their kingdom, and they end up having to kind of like work together to stop this big bad. It was a very great story. I'm excited for book 2, and hopefully I love it. Okay, spin number 7 of 13. N33. Okay, N33 is my pick, and I'm laughing because I was literally just on FaceTime with him like 20 minutes ago, and he gave me a whole list. He's like, if you get my pick today, these are the ones I want you to pick from. So it ended up working out, so I will let you know what I decide for this one. Then, funnily enough, we got 33, which was Mike pick. So funny that I was just on the phone with him. And this book technically wasn't on the list of books that he recommended that I read. However, we did choose to do a buddy read for the month of December, and this is our buddy read, so I figured he would let it slide this time around. And that is To Kill a Kingdom. This is by Alexander Christo. This is a Little Mermaid retelling, at least that's what he told me. I didn't know that. I am very excited to give it a go. I was actually gifted this book from a family member for my birthday, so I am excited to get around to this one. I don't know the synopsis. All I know is the tagline, and it says, I have a heart for every year I've been alive. So I'm excited to give this one a go. I've heard really good things so far, and hopefully both Mike and I really enjoy this one. Alrighty, spin number 8. N31. Okay, N31 is a random color generator. Again, it takes a choice right out of my hands, but hopefully I get a good color that's going to give me a lot of options. Cross our fingers. Okay, I'm using this random color generator. I've actually never used this one before, so hopefully it doesn't do me dirty. I'm going to randomize it 3 times per usual, and hopefully I get a good color. Okay. 1, 2, 3. White. White! Okay! Exciting. That actually gives me so many options. I cannot be happier. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, up next we got a fun one, and that is, of course, taking the control right out of my hands, and that is 31, which is a random color generator. And as you guys saw, for my random color generator, I got white, which honestly I thought was going to be easy, but as I was trying to also fit these prompts into my Merry Bookmas, I was having a hard time with this one. But I found One of Us is Lying. This is by Karen M. McManus. I am really excited to get around to this one. I do want to watch the TV show, so I'm really glad that I'm finally getting around to reading this. I have heard very mixed reviews. Some people love it, some people don't, but I am excited to give it a go. I believe this follows like 4 or 5 kids who are in detention, and while in detention, one of those kids dies mysteriously, and it becomes an investigation of who did it. Was it an accident? How did he die? And if it wasn't an accident, who took place in making this happen? So I'm excited to give this one a go. I've heard it's really fast paced, so hopefully I can get through it pretty quickly. Okay, spin number 9. I-25, which is another extra ball. Holy crap. Okay, so this is extra ball, and this is to do a 24-hour readathon. Y'all, I do not have the time to do a 24-hour readathon. I am putting up so many videos in December, so this might be coming to you in January, but I will film a 24-hour readathon for you for whatever book I choose to do with this one, and hopefully it's fun and exciting. Cross our fingers. All right, we got another extra ball. Just, I was really hoping that it would be a little bit of an easier month, but alas, that was not the case. And for the extra ball, we got a 24-hour readathon, and for that, I chose Vampire Academy by Rochelle Mead. This is a book series that I had wanted to reread for forever now. I believe I had it on a previous TBR, and I got about 100 pages in and never continued, so I figured I would get back to this one, and maybe during that 24-hour readathon, I can try to binge a couple of the books in the series, just so I can kind of get them off my TBR. I remember loving this series as a kid, and I'm really excited to give it a go. This follows Lisa and Rose, I believe, and one of them is a vampire, one is half vampire, half human, and the half vampire is tasked with keeping Lisa safe. I know that there's a relationship in here with a student and a teacher, which I know a lot of people don't love, but I am excited to be back in this world, and hopefully I can pick it up and enjoy it. Okay, spin number 10 of 14. And none of these have been on the board, so that's even better. G46. I was lured into a sense of false security because it's on the board, but it's also a punishment prompt. Of course it is. Of course it is. Okay, so the book I have here is Low Expectations. I'm gonna be honest, this could have been worse. I have a much scarier punishment prompt in there, so let's cross our fingers and hope I don't get it. But I can definitely pick a book with low expectations for sure. Another one that was on the board, but unfortunately it was a punishment, and that is 46, a book that you have low expectations for. And for that, I chose Siege and Storm by Leigh Bardugo. The reason why I put this on here is because I didn't love the first book. I gave it a 3-star. I thought that it was a solid fantasy, but it wasn't like my favorite thing that I've ever read. So I don't expect giving the second book any more than a 3-star as well. I will be very surprised if it does get more than that. I will be happy to give it any more than a 3-star, but I'm not expecting it to wow me. But I do want to finish off a series, so hopefully I can get around to this one and really enjoy it, and then finally finish off with Rune and Rising. So we shall see. Spin number 11. B3. Another one that's on the board, we love to see it, and this one is a one-word title. I can definitely work with this. Hopefully, I have some good ones. Okay, another one that was actually on the board, yay for us, and that is 3, and that is to read a book with a one-word title. I'm really, really excited to say that I was able to fit on Fake by Tate James on this TBR. As you guys all know, I absolutely adore this series so much. It's the Madison Kate series. I talk about it so much, I'm not going to over-explain it again, but I am really excited to get my reread done of book 3. I absolutely adore this series so much. I love these characters, I love the writing, I love the plot. I'm excited for book 3. I'm going to tab it up like my other ones, and I keep saying excited. That's because I am. I'm pumped for this. Okay, what would have been my last spin number 12. What is this? 067. Okay, 067 is play a TBR game. I was not prepared for this, but that's okay. We can figure this out, hopefully. I don't know what TBR game I'm going to play. However, I will figure something out and I will let you know as soon as I know. I'll be right back. Okay, so I decided I'm going to do a version of the wheel spinner, Cody's TBR, wheel of TBR, or even Completely Mel has her wheel of TBR, which again, I'm going to use that to pick my book prompt today. I added some hard ones in there. I added some good ones in there. I added Kaylani pick, 2 extra spins. Hopefully I don't get that. Pet pick, blindfold pick, because I really liked that one. Second chance author, a romance, a sequel, and a TBR jar. And that's going to be my intimidating TBR jar. So let's hope I get a good one. Pray for me. Here we go. Of course. It could have been 2 extra spins though, so I will take it. But I got, that is really loud. I got my intimidating TBR jar, so let's go ahead and take a look at that. Okay, here we go. I loathe picking out of this cup every time I do it, but it helps to get books off my TBR, so I guess it's a good thing. So we shall see what I get. Okay, you know what? I'm actually not mad at this. I'm not mad at this because I definitely have been needing to read this book, and ever since I read The Night Circus, I have been even more excited to pick it up, and that is, of course, The Starless Sea, so let me go grab that. So, yep, like I said, got The Starless Sea. I'll talk about it a little bit more in a bit. Okay, as you guys saw, I got 67, which was to play a TBR game, and I chose to do a wheel of TBR of sorts to help pick a prompt to then pick a book. And that prompt was to pull a slip out of my intimidating TBR jar, and for that I picked The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. Now that I have read The Night Circus and that slip had been in the TBR jar previous, I'm not as intimidated to read this one. I have read about half of this book before, really enjoyed it, and once I put it back on the back burner, I just had more of a hard time wanting to pick it back up. But now that I have read The Night Circus and loved it, I'm really excited to get to this one, so I honestly couldn't have pulled out a better card from there. It is another chunky book on this TBR, but I am really excited to read it, so hopefully I enjoy it. From what I can remember, this book follows Zach as he finds a book in a library that depicts a very important moment to him in his life, and he kind of goes on a journey to figure out why this particular portion of his life was in this book, and that kind of leads him to find out more about the Starless Sea, and he's on a journey to find the Starless Sea. I believe it's also an LGBTQI plus romance in here, so I'm really excited to get back around to this, and hopefully I love it. Okay, spin number 13. B2. Okay, B2 is Pet Pick, so it was just meant to be. It was meant to be. So let me pick out a few books that I'm thinking of, and I will have Bailey pick a book, and of course I'll film it for you, so I hope you enjoy that. Okay, just when we thought things were getting, things were getting good, we got Pet Pick, and I was like, I'm gonna put the clip in just a second, but let me just explain myself. I picked books that I was like, okay, I need to read these, I'm interested in these, and I put in like a random book thinking, my dog is gonna be nice to me, she's never gonna choose that. Yeah, why don't you just watch the clip? And now that you're back, you understand that my dog did me dirty. Okay? She did me dirty. I put this one in here for shits and giggles. Shits and giggles. And she said, ha, nah, bitch, you're gonna read this, chunky baby. And don't get me wrong, I'm excited. I'm excited to read Empire the Vampire. Clint's fiance, Sterling, has read this one and loved it and has been trying to get me to read it. So I'm sure he'll be very excited to see this. However, I'm pissed, okay? She really did me dirty, and she's not allowed to sleep in my bed for the next week, and she's never getting a treat again. I'm just kidding. Honestly, I am excited to give this one a go. This was on my fall TBR. I did want to read it. I just was hoping not to read it during this month because I have a lot going on. So we'll see if I actually get around to this one. I'm hoping that I do because I'm hoping to really love it, but we shall see. And what is hopefully our very last spin number 14. Oh, I got 3 of them. G49. Okay, for this one we have a bookish book, which is sad because I was going to use the Starless Sea as my bookish book for the prompt bookception, but I guess now I'm gonna have to pick a different one. So let me see which one I want to read and we'll go from there. And finally, our final prompt is 49, and that is a bookish book, and this was recommended by Mel. And the book that I chose was Crazy Stupid Romance by Lisa K. Adams. I've been meaning to finish off this series for quite some time now. I believe the buddy reading group that we have that's currently reading the River Creek series by TJ Klune also read this series, but I wasn't able to read it while they were reading it. I had a lot going on, and so I'm playing catch up, and with the hopes of being able to discuss it with them, because I'm sure most of them have read this. I'm going on a tangent, but basically what I'm saying is I'm excited to read this one. This one follows Noah and Alexis. I don't really remember exactly what those people are and why they're important to the story. Oh, it's the hacktivist. Oh, cute. The hacktivist and a cat owner decodes their friend zone in this romantic comedy from the author of The Undercover Romance. Oh my god, I'm so excited to read this. I just got even more excited. Hopefully I love this. I did read Bromance Book Club in October and I really loved it. So excited to get around to this one. Hopefully I enjoy it. That's it. That is my entire TBR. I'm also going to quickly talk about my Merry Bookmas TBR in here as well if you are curious to know what I'm going to be reading for each prompt. So give me just a second, let me rearrange that, and I will let you know what I'm reading for my Merry Bookmas prompts. Okay, I'm going to film this very quickly before I spontaneously combust because I'm just done for the day. I'm done. So let's go ahead and talk through this. So our first trope of Bookmas is Chosen One, and for that I chose Chosen. Not only does it say Chosen in the title, but the main character is the Chosen One, so we're gonna go with that. Then for second chance, I'm gonna do Vampire Academy because I'm giving this book a second chance. For bookception, I'm going to do Crazy Stupid Bromance by Lisa K. Adams. For enemies to lovers / friends to lovers, I'm going to do Siege and Storm, which I believe this book actually does fit both. Then for small towns, I'm doing One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McManus. For games and competition, I'm using The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. For retelling, I'm going to do To Kill a Kingdom by Alexandra Cousteau. For fake dating, I'm going to use The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. For close quarters, I'm going to use Fake by Tate James. For found family, I'm going to use Winter by Marissa Meyer. For royals or royalty, I'm going to use Occulta by Maya Motain. And finally, for animal companions, I'm going to use the group book Wilder Lore, and this is by Amanda Foodie. So the only one that I wasn't able to actually fit on my TBR this month was Welder Lore, but honestly, I was going to read it anyway, so it didn't really matter. But that is the end of this video. Let me know what you guys thought of this TBR style. I know that a ton of people do their TBRs like this. I just have never filmed mine like this before, so feel free to let me know what you guys think of the style, or if I should go back to my usual picking books as I go style of filming. Just let me know what you like, and I'd be more than happy to accommodate whatever it is that you guys like to see most. Also, feel free to let me know down in the comments below if you are participating in Merry Bookmas and what you're going to be using for each prompt. Of course, if you do decide to participate and you're going to post any images, vlogs, TBRs, or anything like that, please tag us so that we can watch all of your content and look at all of your content that you put up on Twitter and Instagram. But yes, feel free to tag us and let me know if you've read any of these books down in the comments below and what you thought of them. I would love to hear your thoughts. But that is the end of this video. Of course, leave a book stack emoji if you made it to the end, because you always know that my book stacks are wild. But that is the end of this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave. And of course, leave any comments, questions, and suggestions in the comment section below. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.